What Tucker Carlson did wrong. My social media this morning opened up with CatTurd2 telling me that I needed to denounce Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson is crazy. CatTurd is a prominent critic of the Biden administration who has now turned Truth Social commentator on the second Trump administration. This was not the first time I had been told that journalist and interviewer Tucker Carlson had harmed the cause. So I clicked on the video clip to see his latest thought crime as relayed by Just Mindy.
I travel so much that I see it. There's not a single Western city that's thriving. And they're all degrading in exactly the same way.
Is a lot of it just a moral decay, or is it actually true from everything?
It's a lot of things, but it's self-hatred. Every city.
Crazy.
Every European city, every American city, it's just white. People lose their will to live, their will to pass on their culture, their values, their religion to their children, their will to have children. It's all gone. I mean, it's not gone with everybody, but I mean, in the cities, you really see it. It's like the people who built this are long gone, and their descendants have fled, and they don't care enough to keep it going. There's just a lack of self-respect that is disgusting to me, and I have contempt for it. It doesn't bother me to be hated. What really bothers me is when people hate themselves. If you hate if you hate yourself, how are you going to treat me?
That's correct.
Oh man, I don't like it. So I notice it because I travel outside the Western world, the white world. I'll just be honest, the white world.
Right.
I travel a lot in the Middle East. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not Muslim, obviously. In fact, I'm like a Christian, flat out Christian. And my ancestors are from Europe. And so I have nothing in common on that level with the Gulf. But you go to the Gulf and it's incredible to be in a place that has pride in itself, that believes in its religion and culture, that thinks we're onto something. And this is great. Look at what we're doing. We're really proud of this. Those people are happy. They're welcoming of others. They're tolerant of diversity. Like we always talk about tolerant of diversity. There's none of that here. Are you kidding? All the whites, we love black people. Then they run and move to Bozeman because there are no black people.
Absolutely. Send their kid to the...
They hate diversity.
They hate it.
And our version of it isn't working at all. At all. So, but you go to a country like Japan or the Emirates or Qatar or Saudi Arabia, and you see that when people are self-confident, when they're really pleased with what they're doing and they believe that their system is the right system, that self-confidence results in a kind of welcoming attitude. So you'll be sitting at dinner in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and you'll say, I'm really kind of pro-Jesus, like I'm a Christian. They'll be like, oh, that's so great.
And they don't have the same...
Well, they mean it.
And they don't have the same belief.
No, they're Muslims.
They're Muslims.
It's a country governed by Sharia law.
Right.
And they're like, that's great.
Good for you. Yeah.
It's great. And you notice like in ISIS or Al-Qaeda or like the Muslim extremists, they're all from like collapsed, pathetic societies dominated by colonial powers. They've been degraded, and that's why they're so angry, right? So there's something about being degraded that turns you into a violent nutcase extremist. You're seeing a lot of violent nutcase extremists in our country. Not surprising because the country's being degraded.
Correct.
So in a country with self-confidence, people are tolerant and open-minded and happy. And in a country where people are told to hate themselves, they start to hate others. Duh. This is all like very obvious, but I only know that because I've traveled a lot. And I am naturally open-minded. Like just because you don't do it my way doesn't mean it's bad. Like I really feel that way. Where they're into things that I'm not into, like, I don't know, polygamy or Islam. And I can sort of look at it and be like, no one's forcing this on me. I'm not mad at you for being a polygamist. I think it's really hard. But whatever, leaving that aside. But I can go to a place like that and I don't feel like I need to judge everybody on their local customs. I just don't feel that need. But in the process of doing that, like you get perspective on your own society. And the core problem is a loss of faith in our people, in our values, in our religion. You just don't believe anything.
According to the staff at Twitchy.com, what Tucker just said in the above clip merited this comment. It would be great if the aliens that snatched Tucker Carlson and replaced him with this Islam apologist would return him. It's one thing for a podcaster or interviewer to tell you how the world ought to be. Tucker doesn't do that. He's describing the world as it is, as he sees it. In this clip, he describes how he traveled to Japan and Saudi Arabia and noted that they are very comfortable in their cultures. Western culture, including the United States, is now largely secular and hedonistic. We are not a Christian nation anymore. Christianity is in fact a minority with how the nation conducts itself. So of course, I can agree that places like Japan and Saudi Arabia hold our culture in contempt. The fact is that nothing Tucker Carlson said in that clip was betraying the cause of conservatism or the MAGA movement. I don't even know who gets to define the MAGA or conservative cause in 2026. When did we become the progressive left? It is in fact the Democratic Party that requires marching in lockstep on every issue. You must agree with every premise of the left, or be declared guilty of betraying their cause. The groupthink mentality of Orwellian thought declares that you are guilty of thought crime and must be canceled, silenced, denounced, and destroyed. That's how the progressive left operates, or at least until we fought back against online cancel culture, which reached its peak in the Biden administration. Why should our side adopt the methods of the left to go after Tucker Carlson? But this is not the first time he's been declared a nutty traitor. In February 2024, he traveled to Russia and interviewed dictator Putin. At the time, the Biden administration labeled him an apologist for Putin and Russia's aggression in invading Ukraine. It was, in fact, Tucker's 2022 questioning of the rationale for getting involved in the Russian-Ukraine war that led to him walking away from his Fox News weeknight anchor show. He was told he had to state certain opinions, and he said, "If I can't speak my opinions, there's no point in me doing this show," and he walked off. He's been very happy ever since, just doing his own private interview show, but apparently that's not good enough for some. In 2025, Tucker Carlson began to get criticized for his lack of support for the ongoing Hamas-Israeli war. Tucker was of the opinion that there was no reason for civilians to continue being killed in the Gaza Strip by the Israeli Defense Force. For this thought crime last year, he was criticized at the 2025 Turning Point USA convention. This was after the murder of Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point. He was told by Ben Shapiro, a prominent Israeli military supporter, that he needed to be deplatformed and silenced at this convention. Tucker was accused of betraying the cause then. I'd recommend listening to his speech at Turning Point USA in 2025 because Tucker describes what free speech means to him. The simple fact is that Tucker Carlson was wrong in assuming that we live in an age where you are free to speak your mind. There are powerful groups that wish to control the dialogue and narrative on the national stage, and they will silence you should you speak out of turn. Back in 2022, American rapper Kanye West gave a typical rapper's interview complaining about how some very powerful men controlled the music industry and record labels that he worked for. But he made the mistake of pointing out that these people at the top of record labels were of a specific ethnic group. Immediately, Adidas blocked access to his $75 million account. Then Apple Pay turned off his digital credit cards. Kanye found that he couldn't even withdraw money from his own bank accounts while these financial institutions investigated him for anti-Semitism. To regain access to his funds that were his, Kanye was forced to take out full-page newspaper ads apologizing to those who controlled his money and his music career. Kanye said that if the banks could do this to him, they could do it to anyone, which apparently is true. But apparently, most people repeating these attacks on Tucker Carlson today forgot all of this. They can do this to anyone. In October 2025, Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes. We have been told by the corporate media that Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. For Tucker to interview this man, we were told, meant that Tucker Carlson was also a white supremacist. But we are assured to this day that the President of the United States is a white supremacist. His critics certainly repeat it every day. So by this logic, every person who has ever interviewed Donald Trump is also a white supremacist? Yet that is the absurd argument they use to attack Tucker Carlson. I thought we didn't have thought crime on the right in this country. At least we didn't until this year. This brings me back to these posts being put up earlier today on social media about Tucker Carlson betraying the cause. What Tucker Carlson did wrong was interview people who interested him, and he gave his opinion on the topics. If that is considered a thought crime, then there may no longer be a difference, in my view, between red and blue America, if we must all engage in groupthink and never ever betray the cause. I can support the State of Israel's military operations in their self-defense. I can also support our joint American-Israeli military action against Iran. And I can still support Tucker Carlson's right to state his opinion on either subject, because it's his right to do so and to have an opinion as defined by the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Am I a voice alone in the wilderness on this? Thank you.